My introverted butt decided to leave the house and go to Chicago for the weekend. Why? Because my birthday. I went to the James Hotel last weekend in Chicago, and now it's time for a review. Disclaimer, energy is gonna be hella low today because somehow I caught a cold while I was in Chicago, somehow injured my foot, so you know, we're just not that good today. This is like the first day that I have my voice almost completely back. Earlier this week I sounded like an 80-year-old chain smoker named like Bertha or something. But here is my hotel review for the James Hotel in Chicago on Magnificent Mile. This hotel, like I said, is located on Magnificent Mile. It's pretty much just like, I want to say, the east of Michigan Avenue, and the closest subway station you're gonna get is Grand State on the Red Line. For me it took, I'm a pretty fast walker, for me it took maybe like less than 5 minutes. All you want to do is once you get off of Grand State Station, you're just gonna go like northbound 2 blocks, and then I want to say eastbound 2 more blocks, and it's like located on Ontario Street. It's like right at the corner of Ontario and some road that I can't remember right now, but like it's right there in my head. It's like the worst thing ever. This hotel, when you walk in, the staff is actually really nice. It's a very cozy hotel lobby. So the staff, right when you walk in, like they see you, and they were really nice. It was 2 girls at the time I checked in, and the funny thing is I keep forgetting that Chicago time zone and then Toronto time zone are like an hour apart. So in Toronto we're actually an hour ahead of them. So I walked into the hotel at, thinking it was 3 p.m. after I'd gotten lost and explored and all that crap. So I was just ready to like check in. In my mind it was 3 p.m. When I actually got to the hotel, it was really 2 p.m. Chicago time, but my phone, because I didn't change over, said 3 p.m. So they were really accommodating. They had like no problems at all getting me checked into a room. The room that I booked was through Priceline, so I guess it was just like your standard like room, and I ordered a king size bed, and I only paid $1 extra because I think they were charging, I want to say, can't remember the price, but it was let's just say it was $12 for the queen size bed versus $13 for the king. And I figure, well, I'm not gonna like pass up on a king size bed if it was only gonna cost me $1 more. So yeah, I did that, and they had a room ready, but it was gonna be one of the accessible rooms, so it's like the ones that accommodate wheelchairs and whatnot. Now this is kind of a deal breaker for me, just because for 2 main reasons. My thing is, those rooms should actually be the last to go in a hotel, because what if at last minute you get someone who actually needs that room? I am like a healthy 20-something-year-old woman. Like I have no major injuries, no nothing that would really warrant giving me an accessible room. And what if someone who maybe was stranded in Chicago for a day needed a hotel right now, and they were in a wheelchair or something? Like, what were you gonna give them? The rooms that are not accessible? So it's like, those should be the last rooms to go. That should be like a room that you just don't give away for like a morality sake. I get like it's a hotel, they want to make money, they want to sell out all their rooms, but you kind of got to consider like the what ifs. Maybe that's just me being like a little like sensitive, but that's just my opinion. I guess like when you do your Priceline bookings or like your hotels.com or whatever type of bookings, that those are the kind of rooms that like you're expecting to get. And I've stayed in tons of accessible rooms in other hotels in the past, and like personally for me, even though it's accessible for one person, for me it's just inconvenient. I'm pretty, like, I'm not tall, but I'm like average height for a female. I'm 5'6.5", and I find that in the accessible rooms everything is just too low for me. And also the showers, because it's meant for like someone to just easily get into, like walk into or roll into, it's just like water gets everywhere when I take a shower, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves, is having to like clean up after myself extensively once I'm done taking a shower, because it's like, what's the point if I'm just gonna get dirty while cleaning again? So that's just one of the biggest things that kind of annoys me. And so when she said that the room was gonna be accessible, I pretty much like flat out, politely but flat out told her like no. I would have rather just waited until another room became available. So luckily she actually had one that was ready to go, And I was like, well, why didn't you give me that before then? If I didn't say anything, what if I was like one of those rude Canadians who are like an exception who's like, I don't want that room. This is not good enough for me. Blah, 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 blah. Like, really? Just give me the good room to begin with, and then like everything is good. So she managed to get me into a room that was not accessible, and she said that it was gonna be on the 3rd floor. And it was so funny, the way she said it, it was like, oh, we have a room, but it's gonna be on the 3rd floor. And I was like, what's wrong with the 3rd floor? But it didn't really click until like after I was already in the elevator. So I was just like, yeah, that's cool. It's totally fine. Like, it's whatever. At that point, I just wanted to get into the room and like, just like sleep for a bit. I was hella jet lagged, hella tired. It was an early flight and I was just tired. So I was like, yeah, it's cool. So I got all checked in. She explained everything about the hotel, all the amenities that were available. We'll get to that later on. And yeah, she sent me on my way. So yeah, like I said, I got into the elevator and I was like, while the thing's slowly rising and the thing like dings as you get to each floor, I was like, okay, what could be so bad about the 3rd floor that like she gave that look? And so I started freaking out internally. So I get off the elevator and onto the 3rd floor. First thing I see is like a little business lounge study area. I'm like, that's so cool, like this is great. And then in my mind I'm like, okay, maybe it's just like the conference room floor or something, like where they have all like the, you know, like boardrooms and stuff if you wanna like host stuff as a business, or I don't care, whatever. And I've stayed in hotels where that was like not a problem. So I was like, okay, well, if that's the worst thing about the 3rd floor, like whatever, right? So yeah, I just kept going. Found my room pretty easily. Like, it was not that difficult. I want to say I was in room 3. We're not even gonna try to guess what room number it was, because I took a video this time, so I actually know the number, but like right now I don't remember it. So yeah, it was 3 something. In relation to the elevator, as I pretty much suspected based on my past like Priceline or Hotels.com bookings, it's pretty much near the elevator. So you walk around the corner and my room was like right behind the elevator technically. So I think that's probably just gonna be the thing that like happens from this point going forward, which like, compared to other hotels I stayed at, as I mentioned in some of the Korea videos, it was not that bad. Yeah, so I mean, okay, the room location was great. The room itself was actually very, like, it was bigger than I thought it would be. When you walk in, you have your closet on to your left, and then to the right you have the washroom, and right in front of you it's just this big open space. You have like a little table with a couch area, and then you got the TV next to it. You got your bed to the right hand side, and then you have this window that lets in like a fair amount of light. And I kind of tested it with and without the window or the shades closed. So yeah, you get like a fair amount of light, and they also give you like this extra big lamp too, just so you get that extra lighting in the room. So it's like, it's good that they considered that. And for me, like, I was right on the street, and now like at that point when I opened the window I was kind of like, okay, I can see why she'd maybe be like a bit apprehensive about the 3rd floor, because you can literally hear everything when you're on like a low floor of a hotel, like people screaming, cars honking, the ambulances. But like, it's really like, I think it's just not that bad. So once again I was like, this is fine, like it's totally cool. Yeah, so then took a good look around the room. Room amenities, they're saying they have complimentary triple filtered water. Now, this was definitely true. It comes in one of those like glass bottles that you get in restaurants, which if I'm eating at a restaurant, I'm actually okay with it, but because it was in the hotel room, I don't know why, but I couldn't bring myself to actually drink the water. I'm sure it is triple filtered like they say, but I just don't know how long that water was sitting there and how many times it's been opened, how much the dust has flown into it. At least if you go to a hotel where they have like bottled water that's, you know, you pop the lid and you know it's been secure. I don't really care about the cold or warmth of the water because I drink room temperature water, if not warm water, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, I couldn't drink the water. I liked the size of the bed. It was the king bed that I did buy. I like that they had a separate area because, as you guys know by now, I have my dirty bed and my clean bed. This room only had one bed, so I could use the couch area for like when I just come off the street, off the subway, off the nasty subway. So yeah, that was good. I didn't have to have the whole dirty bed, clean bed thing, which was cool. The TV was nice, channel selection was great. I have my cartoons because that's the only thing I watch whenever I travel. And then there was the minibar area. I don't drink as much as I used to. Also, I don't drink from mini bars because why do that when I can just go around the corner to like a liquor store and buy some of my own, like for like half the price. So the options there. Look like they had a pretty good selection of stuff. I wish I opened the mini fridge and filmed that, but they had bottled water there. They had I think they had like beer and stuff too. It was a pretty good selection. So like if you like to drink, like you have options. Yeah, the minibar was cool. As usual, they have like their ice buckets, tea kettles, all the stuff that you just expect to get from like at least a 3-star hotel. It's gonna be there. And yeah, it didn't disappoint. I didn't try the stuff, but I mean like the selection was good. So for my room, we had this, you know, the doors that connect two rooms together. I had one of those, and those things always sketch me out whenever I'm not staying like adjacent to my family members. So of course I tested the door to make sure like they couldn't get open. There is a deadbolt. There's no way they can get in. I even tried just pulling the door without turning the bolt. Like there's no way they can get in. So that was like, that was very reassuring for me. As for the washroom was, it was small. It was very small. It was a full-size tub with shower head, and they gave you shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. I used the body wash. I didn't use the shampoo and conditioner just because that stuff I bring all my own. My hair is curly, enough said. For the body wash, I personally did not like it just because I felt that it was just very, it had like this weird like minty smell. I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it smelled weird, and it was kind of like musky, which is not to my personal preference. And then I felt like it was just a bit harsh for my skin. Maybe that could also be the water. I noticed that the water for my face, like I don't usually break out, but like I have like a bit of like pimples now, which is not normal for me. So yeah, maybe it was just the water itself, or the combination of the water and the body wash, but for me it just it wasn't my thing. But that might just be a me problem, not an everyone else problem. That's my personal preference. The shower was great. The water pressure was good. I don't have much to say about it. One thing which is really, really, really minimal, which I like, but I don't think anyone actually pays attention to, is the shower curtain. They actually give you 2 shower curtains. So one is like the wet one, and then one's like the pretty one on the outside. A lot of hotels just give you the one and expect you to use it, and then it makes a big mess on the floor, and then it's just annoying. So I'm glad they actually gave like a double like layer of that. And also the way that the curtain kind of rounds out, it just gives you more space. So the curtain itself is not touching your skin once your body's wet. Oh, it was so great. Oh, I love that. Why can't all hotels do that? The sink area I hated it. The sink itself was like this big rectangular sink, and in relation to the faucet, this would be like the faucet, and then that would be like the bottom of the sink. So like you could realistically only put your hands right there and just rub gently if you want to wash your hands. Otherwise, you'd either hit the faucet above or you'd hit the bottom of the sink below. So my thing is, they basically just took like a countertop or like a counter, threw the sink on top of it rather than put it, you know, below that counter grade. So that already took up like maybe 4 inches of potential like hand washing space. So it's just like, it made, especially after you brush your teeth and the spit is everywhere in the sink and you want to just quickly rinse off your stuff, you're literally forced to like be so gentle about it when I just want to quickly like get my stuff done. Even washing your face, like it's just like a hassle. But like my hands are just not that big, and for me to have to struggle to like wash my hands because they decided to just slap the sink on top of the counter or not just make the faucet higher or like raise it somehow, that was probably like the most annoying thing to deal with in the washroom. Another thing was that the towels were just like directly on the counter. Normally they have like a rack or something to hang off of them. Like, I mean the little hand towels, like something. It's just, nope, they were just sitting there. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, okay. Like, how do I know this wasn't really like used before? It probably wasn't, but like just having them sit there like that, it's just like it made it look like they were just an afterthought, or like they forgot to like design something to actually hang the hand towels off. So like the big towels are like just above the toilet, and then the like medium-sized towels are hanging off the front of the sink, but then the actual hand towels, y'all could have just slapped it like on top of the medium-sized towel. One thing that was really annoying about this hotel was that while I was trying to relax before I went back out into the night life of Chicago, there was this annoying banging that would happen intermittently, like maybe every like 10 minutes, and it was just like this loud like doo doo doo, and like I could not figure out what it was. So like it wasn't a hammer, and it wasn't like, I don't know what it could have been, but it was just really, really annoying. And maybe that's another reason why the third floor was so bad, but like I just, oh, that was so frustrating, especially because like after you come off a long flight and you just want to like relax for a bit, all I would hear after I'd start to get like comfortable and my eyes would start closing and I was like, yes, we're relaxing now. And it'd be like doom, 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 and I'm like, ah! I don't know what that banging was, but not a fan. So for the actual images of the hotel, and also kind of on TripAdvisor too, but mostly the hotel website, because that's what I really want to go based off of, what they're advertising versus what you get. I found that yes, the lobby area, it pretty much looked like what you were gonna get. As for the actual hotel room, I think that it resembled what was in the pictures, but it wasn't like what I thought I would be getting. Some of the pictures, they like either looked like a really, really tiny room, but the one I got was much bigger, which is fantastic. But there's things like, even the little things, like in the washrooms, all the pictures of the washrooms that they posted had this like wooden rack thing. And this comes back to my point about like the hand towels that were just placed randomly on the counter. So it's like, it's little things like that where it's just, I got what I paid for, but it also didn't like, you know, it didn't 100% match what I saw in the pictures. But I think I probably would stay there again, despite like some of the shortcomings that it had. I think it was a good hotel. If I were to give it a rating out of 5, I'd probably say my experience was a solid 3. I think that the banging was just annoying, but you know, it didn't happen throughout the night, so that's like, I guess, a good thing. It just would have been nice to know where the banging was coming from, so I could at least be like, okay, at least I have a source and I can kind of ignore it somehow. But yeah, aside from that, and aside from, you know, not matching the pictures, I think it was a nice hotel. I'd definitely go back for the staff. I think it was great. Okay, so that's my review for the James Hotel in downtown Chicago, Magnificent Mile. Hope this helped you in any way. If it didn't, I'm not sorry, and thanks for watching.